Hello. I thought it would be interesting to record a few videos on the journey I'm going through with the Shipyard Creator Contest. I Today is the 8th of February 2026. So this started about 3 weeks ago now. And by the time it started, I couldn't do the first bit for about a week, and then most of the last 2 weeks have been on ideation. Funny enough, build something, ditched it, build something, ditched it, build small prototypes, obviously. And I thought it would be cool to record now where I am on this and the journey going forward. So, for anyone who doesn't know, it doesn't turn around now. Why? Well, this is what I'm doing. Right? It's the Shipyard Creator Contest. Shipyard School, they have some briefs that you can read through, and tried all of them. But the one I'm going for in the end is this one from
If
Josh.
you want to invest to make your savings profitable, you're going to have a problem. And that is that your investments will be spread across numerous different platforms and structures.
So I'm building this one because I agree. I've been there. I have some investments and it's hell. It's really hell. Because you need to pierce together things from one place, then another place, then another place, and whatnot. You end up with some of the things that he is actually saying to be true, which is you have a lot of exposure on a specific country. I'm joined by my dog, and he doesn't like the idea. Say hi, bro. Newton, say hi. Hello. Anyway, I am moving, so the thing is a bit of a mess. Never mind. Just an explanation why everything's so messy. No, the point being tackling this one because I have felt this pain. I know what it is. When you want to know your wealth or the whole amount of money you have, you really need to keep piercing things together, seeing updated prices, adding any investments you did on a whim. For example, well, there is this new crypto thing, there's this new token that launched, and I invested something in it and I lost it, or I made 100k. Who knows? It does happen. And because of that, you need also a way to add that is a bit, let's say, better than what he's proposing. So my idea here will be to build something in the lines of what he said. And again, this is very rough at the minute because I'm redoing it today, and again, it's 8, right? So we don't have that much time. But the main point being, there are a few avenues where we can do this. One is we do what as he says, but then the main point here is how do you keep track of all you have? Because as you make this public, right? Either you start by a country and by a subset of platforms, or you have a problem in how many you can interface with, because there are a lot. Another part of that is probably want to have a connection with the bank, just read connection, obviously not bright connections, so you can read how much you have and how much you should allocate potentially. Again, in the ethereal things you can do, right? So in this space where we're still discussing what we can do, one thing that's cool is if we can figure out how to make the onboarding process quicker or at least easier. We have an idea, and that is, and we, meaning me and my AI agents, which are helping me on this, obviously now. But one of the ideas is to use email, so allow the investors to, or anyone who's want the app. It doesn't need to be an investor. Technically, it's considered an investor because they have investment, but hey ho, anyone can use it. So the idea, again, back to the point and not to diverge any further, to allow access to Gmail, if that's your primary mail, and scan for receipts and annual accounts and things like that, and then build that in the app. So basically parse that information, put it onto a user interface, then probably a confirmation for each, so it does make sense, nothing went wrong there. Alternatively, let the investor add that manually. Painful if you have a lot of stuff. But one thing that we can do for sure is to use squares, and by squares meaning spaces. For example, investments in crypto is one space, investments in stocks another, investments in X thing another, investments in another one another. So by the end of it, you will have them all if you won't need them, but if not, your onboarding process is going to be quicker, and it's going to be at least piece onto the important bits. So for example, if you are only interested in adding your stocks and you just have stocks, it will only do stocks, and therefore that is going to be quicker than if you need to go through the whole process. Now you say yes, no, yes, no. So that's where I am at the minute. I have thought as well on the premium part of this, which is cool. But I think one key part as of today on these things is a chat interface, because you might want to say, hey, I have just bought 200 shares of XYZ, or hey, I just bought a property at this rate with this loan at this interest, which is fixed or not, yada yada yada, and that will add it where it needs to be added. So I think that's probably the best way to do it. And also because you have a chat, which is limited, because you don't have everything on the chat, we can make it more one-to-one, right? A bit more personal. I have done a lot of research in context for AIs, and one thing that we can do is to keep the context local, and therefore we know context for that person, which is pretty much just how most companies do it. Not on the browser, obviously, because but in mobile apps. So that's the idea so far. Again, pretty much matching what Josh said. It's gonna have a twist there, because I think the input of that is tricky, and it might have a few more twists on how useful that is. For example, we might want to have videos explaining why. So explaining why something is not good at a certain point. So yeah, that's the idea, and I'm gonna go on and finish the ideation phase, which is taking longer for the whole thing. But that's one of the beauties with AI, is that now you can spend a lot more time on the ideation phase when the execution phase is just much quicker. And so because of that, and that's a good thing, we can produce better quality output, better outputs overall, and the limit is on your ideas and not anymore on the execution or how much code you write and at what speed. So, or how much money you have to hire developers if you cannot code. So that's been cool, and I'm gonna go because time's limited. So see ya.